were all doing jumps in second across the floor, which looked like that. And my friend did hers, and it was beautifully big, and she landed it. And then we heard the scream, so we all look over, and she's lying on the ground with her kneecap totally on the side of her leg. It was gross, and it looked really painful. So what she did, she actually dislocated her knee. And if any of you have ever done that before, it's really painful, and it hurts really bad. So dancing is actually really dangerous. It's actually proven that dancers are more likely to get injured than professional rugby or football players. 80% of dancers will face an injury that will keep them out of work for an entire year, and only 20% of professional rugby or football players will face an injury that will keep them out of work for a year. So I'm going to tell you guys all about the dangers of dancing. And I'm not talking about the Just Dance games you play on the Wii or the Expos with your friends, or the fun party that you have at homecoming with all your friends. I'm talking about the dancers that dance for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for their profession, the ones that you pay $300 to see perform the Nutcracker in New York. And it may surprise you how many dangers there actually are to dancing. We're going to talk about the long-term, the short-term, and even mental illnesses dancers have. So the first thing we're going to talk about are long-term illnesses or injuries. So the main common one is knee injury, actually. And it comes from the way that dancers turn out their legs. See, what you want in ballet specifically is a perfect turnout. And that's when your feet would be totally opposite direction, making a straight line. But what you're supposed to do is turn out from your hips. But since it's really hard to do that, I mean, lots of people can't do that, you end up turning out from your knees. And when you do that, it adds a lot of extra stress on them. And instead of having, a healthy joint space like that, you end up wearing down your knee. And it ends up looking like that. That also comes from jumping on a lot, landing, rolling on the floor, all that stuff. And the second long-term injury lots of dancers face are foot deformalities. And that mainly comes from dancing on point, which is wearing special shoes like these and going up on your toes and dancing around on stage. And what happens is you're not supposed to start point work like this until you're a certain age, because if your bones are too soft, your bones in your feet will actually start bending and form to the way of your shoe. And as you could imagine, if your feet start growing like that, it's going to be really hard later in life to walk around because, well, that'd just be hard to walk around like that. So, my second topic are short-term injuries. And I should know about this because I've pretty much had all of these. So, the main thing about short-term injuries is that you can basically get anything from dance that you could in any other sport. There's neck sprains, broken ankle, fractures, sprained wrists, concussions, it's all possible. And dancers oftentimes a lot have them. But the one thing that's different about injuries in dance and other sports is if you're a professional, you pretty much just dance through it. If you fractured your ankle, you'll do a show with a fractured ankle. If you sprained anything, you'll do a show. If you have any injury imaginable, you still dance through it. But it's really hard for them to heal that way. So oftentimes they last up to 2 or 3 times longer than normal injuries because you just, like I said, never give them time to heal. So that also leads me into my next topic, which is mental illnesses, which is part of the reason why dancers always have to dance on sprained ankles or fractured toes or everything. It's because the ballet world and companies for dance, there's a really high, well, there's actually a lot of pressure on you to do well because you can't be hurt or be so-called accident prone because no one's going to want to hire you in a company. So that oftentimes leads to paranoia in dance companies. What happens is you're just so focused on being your best, you get so paranoid that other people are going to take your spot in dance companies. It's just, it messes with your head a lot. And the other mental illness that they have are actually eating disorders. And that's more so in ballet companies than any other company because the main form for a ballerina, what's ideal, is just really skinny and just stick straight. And it's bad for your body already not to have like the proper protein you need, being an athlete or not. But if you dance, like I said, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you really need all that protein and energy, or else you're going to faint or have heart attacks or anything like that. And it's just dance is really dangerous, and we talked about long-term, short-term, and even mental illnesses that dancers acquire. So it takes a really special person to make it as a professional dancer. So next time you're watching a show, maybe you'll think about what type of person they actually are.